Hey everyone, it's your favorite host, Marcus Norman of the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today, I'm so excited. I couldn't be more excited to have this very special guest on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. She is, I'm a longtime follower of her. I have coming to the stage, Miss Anita Stoudmire, a licensed professional therapist and love mentor who founded Better Love Movement, an online coaching business that helps men and women of all ages create the space and find the relationships they want. She also has a private counseling practice in Virginia, Growth Therapy Center, that focuses on couples counseling and relationship issues for singles. Miss Anita is passionate about all things love and relationship, and she knows that the quality of our lives that are much richer when our personal relationships are healthy and fulfilling. And she's changing the Virginia market, but she's also making an impact in the world. And we have the proud honor and distinction to have her on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show today, blessing us with her wisdom, her knowledge, and we have a little special treat. She doesn't know about this. I'm going to introduce a fire round. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the stage the incredible, the amazing Miss Anita Stoudmire. Come into the Gentleman Style Podcast stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful.
Absolutely. Miss Stoudmire, thank you for being here. It is an honor to host you on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show today. Yeah. I'm excited to have you. Thank you for saying yes, for being here.
I appreciate you asking. Yeah, it's always an honor to get my message out.
Absolutely. Speaking of messages, you are in the mental health space. I want to ask, when did you realize you had the gift? When did you realize, because the mental health space, the mental health, behavioral health industry as a whole, most people would not have the heart to enter that space. Why did you, can I ask you, why did you enter this space, the mental health space?
Well, I've told this story many times on my platform and on other people's platform that my grandmother prophesied over me. So when I was young, she told me there were three things that I would be in this world. She told me I would be a mother. She told me I would be a teacher. She also told me I would be a counselor. And of course, as an 8 or 9-year-old child, I didn't understand what that meant. I knew I wanted to be a mother, even at 8 or 9. However, as I got older, I had a love of children. I've always loved children, still do. And I knew I wanted to make an impact on the lives of children. So I went to college, became an elementary school teacher. And that's what I did for about 11 years, is work with children. And I eventually met my husband in Atlanta, the man who would be my husband, and we got married. We had 3 children. I stayed at home with those children for 12 years. But when I attempted to return to teaching, I just wasn't thrilled with all of the changes that happened in the educational system. And so I actually was meditating. I was meditating one day, and in some ways praying and asking God, what was next? What else should I do? And my grandmother's words came to my mind. And she said, you will be a counselor. And so that is the direction I went in. And voila, that happened to be one of my gifts that she saw in me early on. And so, yes, here I am. I have been a couples therapist for the last 6 years, running my own private practice. And then I have been a generalist therapist for the last 11 years.
And the thing, you said the gift, this is your gift. You've entered the space. You've met your grandma's wishes. Did it turn out? I think the banging question for me is, if grandma prophesies that, what was it that she saw in the space that you would be able to make a difference? And have you found that thing to make a difference in this space?
Yeah, I think that she knows that I'm very passionate. And I love people. Like, I want humanity as a whole to be well. Right? That's something that's very deep in my soul, that I want the best for humanity. Suffering is hard. You know, it's really hard for me to witness. It's hard on the people who are suffering. If I had a wish, it would be to take away all suffering. And so I think she saw that even in me as a young girl, that, I just love humanity and I want everyone to have a good life and to be happy.
And so, do you make a difference? Have you achieved that thing? You're reducing the suffering?
For sure. I believe I am. So every marriage that I save, one of the other reasons why I think I went into becoming a counselor, and I tell my couples this, I say, I'm really not here for either one of you. And they say, really?
Mm.
I said, I'm actually here for your children, right? That if I can help to improve your marriage, if I can help save your marriage, that actually benefits your children. And they're the real victims in all of this, right? Because the two adults, if they break up, if they divorce, the two adults in my opinion, they're going to be fine. But it's their children that are going to have the long-lasting repercussions of the marriage ending. So, yeah, I kind of do it for the kids, right?
Sorry, I had to.
I want every child to grow up in a safe, loving, warm, wonderful home with a mom and a dad. Yeah, that's my wish.
What was your child rearing? What was it like growing up for you?
So, people know this story too, that, my
Yeah.
mom's been married 3 times. My dad's been married. He's on his 4th marriage. So there was a lot of, it was kind of like my childhood was kind of like being a military kid. So I did a lot of moving around. I went to a lot of different schools. Um, and I believe I have mastered the art of adaptation because I was forced to. I was forced to, as a child, to adapt to any situation I was put in. So I consider myself a master at that. And I do help other people to learn how to do that, that life is not going to be linear or smooth. And you'll be put in situations and you have to adapt. You have to know how to adapt. But even with all of that, I believe I had a great childhood. I'm a Gen Xer. And I believe I had a wonderful childhood. I was a latchkey kid, me and my brother. And, we lived a very independent young life. Our parents trusted us with all kinds of things. I was cooking family dinner at 9 years old. And I believe I had a great childhood. And like I said, it has definitely prepared me for the life that I'm living now. And God reminds me of that. He always tells me, like, that's why all of that happened, is because I needed you to be prepared for the destiny that I have for you. And so you've got to adapt. You've got to be resilient and have grit, right? And those are the skills that you're going to teach other people.
I told y'all the sauce, bringing the sauce. Thank you for sharing,
Yep.
resharing your history, your childhood, and your family. I
Mhm.
appreciate that so much. You touched on this earlier. I need your help expounding on this a little bit more. We're not doing well. Not
Yeah.
doing well as society. The institution of marriage has shifted. And I can't pinpoint when that shift occurred, but it's not, we're not doing well, it's not going well.
Mm-mm.
um Marriage to me, and from my ecosphere and from my podcasting, so I have a little bit more reach and perception and experience than the average person on what they see in their ecosystem.
Mhm.
But from what I see, the institution of marriage isn't as meaningful
Right.
as it used to be. Now, I'm for those that are jumping on the bandwagon of, well, it was women's suffrage and women, your grandma would get beat up.
Yeah.
I understand that. That does not make, in my opinion, that does not make the institution of marriage a bad thing. You
Mhm.
can marry a bad person,
Right.
but the institution of marriage, I feel, is still well. Is
Mhm.
marriage, in your um, professional opinion, still a meaningful institution, or just a legal contract people romanticize?
I will always advocate for marriage. And that makes a lot of men on my channel angry because they have denounced marriage and they're constantly talking about, the financial risk that a woman could wake up tomorrow and she could decide she doesn't want to be married and take all of his assets and take his children and his home. And so it's just not worth it, Anita. I can't believe you're continuing to advocate for marriage. And yet, I will never give up on marriage, because to me, we're focusing exactly as you said, we're focusing on all the wrong things. We're not focused on the people in those marriages. We're not focused on all of the things that we can actually do to lower the risk of divorce. Those are the classes, those are the seminars that we're not attending, or the information that we're not getting. There are ways to lower your incidence of divorce, but we don't talk about them. We just say 50% of all marriages end, marriage is a bad deal. And it's a deeper problem than that for people who actually want to learn about it. But, that's not sexy, that's not a good soundbite. So, yeah, we don't talk about that.
One of the things you do talk about, I've saw or seen and read that you said we need to marry well.
Yes.
Marrying well. One of the most significant things that one can do in their lifetime is marry well. I think our
Mhm.
pickers are broken. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think we are not. I'm not. I don't follow sports by any
Mhm.
broad definition of it. But when you look at a pro athlete, when they prepare for the Super Bowl, they
Mhm.
train, they study, they get in the books, they hire a professional, a counselor, a
Yep.
therapist, a trainer, a coach to help them prepare for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so the most significant thing in your life that one can do is marriage. Why I think we're not working on that.
Nope.
What are your thoughts on the brokenness, or some of the things? Can you point out some things that you're seeing?
Yeah.
It,
But it's exactly as you just said. We are ill prepared. Our families don't prepare us. School doesn't prepare us. There was a study that came out recently that said it has been proven that 70% of your lifetime satisfaction or happiness comes from healthy relationships. And so you would think that we would teach it in school. You would think that we would teach it in middle school, high school, college. We would have courses, we would have seminars. You would think that that is where a lot of our learning would happen. We have nothing about healthy communication, effective communication, active listening, conflict resolution, conflict style, attachment style. We have nothing about, these relationship skills. And we're all following like kind of a broken blueprint, right? My parents had a broken blueprint. I've admitted that, right? I didn't learn healthy relationship skills from my parents. They had a broken blueprint. But when I became a relationship scientist, and that was 25 years ago, that's when I got serious. I got serious after my own divorce. I said, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. If I ever do this again, number one, I'm going to choose well. And number two, I'm going to do well. That is my formula for healthy, happy marriages. 90% of relationship success is in who we choose. And so I made it my mission to learn the relationship skills and tools. And now part two is teaching that to other people.
so, love it, love it, love it. So for those men that say, why are you toting the marriage bandwagon? Why are you speaking on getting married when it doesn't serve me? What you're saying, what I'm hearing is we need to improve our skill set,
Mhm.
improve and define what qualities
Yep.
make a good partner.
Yeah.
I feel to some degree, just please share your thoughts, that the things some of the things that we categorize as this is what I need a quality partner to be. I need my
Mhm.
partner to make XYZ dollars. I need my partner to drive a certain car,
Yeah.
or he needs to have washboard abs,
Mm.
or my partner needs to have a booty, right? If she
Mhm.
doesn't, like, I think some of these things that we use, I'll give you an example. For me, I don't think education is a metric for a quality partner. And I'll tell you
Mm-mm.
why. Growing up, my father was I grew up with my father. And growing up with him, we lived with his parents, which is my grandparents.
Mhm.
And he drove a 1976 Neo Prism on its last legs. He worked 3 jobs. He was working to support me, and he was down on his luck. He finds his wife, my stepmother today. He finds his wife, and from that marriage, I witness we now move out of mom and dad's house. We move into a better house. They get married. They start construction on a beautiful home that they still live in today. Dad gets a new car. I get a car for school.
Wow.
And seeing that, and seeing how when you marry someone that's quality,
Right.
it changes your world. It changes your, not just internally, but surroundingly and visually, things get better. The funny thing is, degree wise, my father has 2 master's degrees. His
Okay.
wife has a bachelor's. But from connecting with this woman who's of great quality,
Right.
our worlds improve dramatically. I
Oh, for
think some of the
sure.
things we use are bad examples. Your thoughts, please.
I agree with you. And, women specifically are really bad at this. Women are horrible choosers. They pick horrible partners. They are forever trying to make the wrong man the right man. That's their biggest problem. And they don't see it. They don't see it. They confuse chemistry or connection with their destiny. And it isn't. It
You're a
isn't there.
Virgo. We go together.
Yeah. See? And yeah. So I definitely see it in women. Here's my theory. I think men are actually really good at choosing good women. I think men are better pickers, if I can be honest.
Really?
Yep. And I think women, for since the beginning of time, they've been horrible pickers. They pick all the wrong men, but then they try to make them the right man. And there is no outdoing a bad choice, right? Once you've made a bad choice, they think they can on the back end. Like, if I do this and I do that and I try harder and I help him find a job and I help him with there is no such thing. Why don't you find a man with a purpose and a vision, find a man with a mission and come under it. That's it, right? And be a great helpmeet. And there you go. But again, if he isn't tall enough, if he doesn't have a full beard or whatever other, yep, just dumb things that don't matter. Yeah, and they keep getting burned. They keep getting burned over and over again.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Miss Stoudmire, and so this is so good. Oh my gosh. As a professional in the space, and to I'm so glad you said that. First off, thank you.
Yeah.
As a man, thank you for hearing us. I feel like centuries of pain have like someone is acknowledging, fellas, I think we're in the right space.
Yeah.
And we're doing the right things. And I agree with you. Men, I think for years have always saw value in women. Now, again, women's suffrage is a real thing. Women were discriminated. Women weren't allowed to have a college education. Women weren't allowed to open checking accounts, bank accounts, get loans. Women's suffrage, I want to acknowledge that. Women's suffrage is a real thing.
But can we be honest? Women were not oppressed. Women were not oppressed.
What?
Women were a special protected class.
In accordance to the law, you mean, or help me understand you more?
Just the ideology of feminism. We have been sold a lie that women were somehow oppressed. And although they didn't have similar rights to men, they were treated special. They were a protected class. Okay? When anything went down, when the Titanic went down, women and children first.
Yes.
A woman was taken care of 100% by her husband. Whenever she went to the store, she used her husband's credit account. She lived in a home owned by her husband. And she had a totally different life that now, if I can be so brave, modern women wish they had. How many videos have we seen of women saying, I'm done being strong and independent. I'm done working 40 hours a week. I'm done paying all these bills. Well, that's what you had. And you said you were oppressed, and now, they've given you your liberation, they've given you your freedom, and now you don't like it.
Yeah. I follow you now. I follow what you're saying. Yes, there were benefits, and I think we're picking now. I think women are picking now and saying, I want to be a stay-at-home wife and all of the good that came with that lifestyle, but I still want to have my own checking account. I still want the independence. I think you are an individual, but when you marry,
you're no longer independent. And I tell people the same thing. You are no longer independent. Okay. You are interdependent. You and another person are in the process of becoming one. You're considering him, he's considering you. But I strongly encourage that women stop using that word. I don't even use that word when I'm single. I do not use
independent woman.
Nope. We have to let that go. I am competent. I am capable. I'm a grown up. But no, I don't. Things have to change, and we have to see the beauty and the benefit of, men and what they bring, and women and what they bring. I do support gender equality. So I want to make this clear. I've always supported gender equality. I believe that regardless of gender or sex, everyone should have the same opportunities. Everyone should be able to do the same things. But I have never supported feminism. Not in any of its waves. We are now in fourth wave feminism because of the technology. But I've never supported feminism. And I know that's a really radical thing for me to say, but people on my platform know my stance about this.
Absolutely. That includes me, y'all. That includes me. And I'm not saying that as a man.
Yeah.
But I think it's when we encounter women who hear us and they speak up. The funniest thing is when women disagree. If I say something, I could say the exact thing Ms. Stoudmire said. And women will chastise me. So, and then I post what Ms. Stoudmire said, and it's crickets, right? Because they're hearing it from their own gender. Right. You now listen to me when she says it.
Yeah.
And I've learned that over the years. Speaking on in this world in 2026, we are now entering a space where now polyamorous have entered the space.
Yeah.
And now that is a thing. Are long-term monogamous relationships natural? Do you feel, or are they a discipline that we've been taught? And we do, in your professional opinion, do you see couples who thrive and do better in polynomy relationships?
Right. Well, I'm going to give you a Christian perspective because I happen to be a Christian, a devout Christian. That's really the only perspective that I have. Now, I can give you some statistical data. I can give you a sprinkle of statistical data. I don't have a lot of it, but even back in the Bible, anyone who participated in polyamory, it was not successful. So remember, there's nothing new under the sun. This is something that's been around since the Bible. And yeah, it's kind of making a new resurgence. But there's lots of things that were happening back then in Bible times that are also happening now. And we see how that turned out. Like we see where that got us. So it's not something I would ever support as a Christian, because I know that's not God's original design. That's not his design for a man and a woman. His original design was one man and one woman. When Christ died on the cross, he renewed that design. He put us back on track, and it is one man and one woman. So I don't see any couples thriving under the polyamory or polygyny. You even have some Christians now who are saying that it is supported in the Bible. No, it really is not. I can give you whole lots of stories and scriptures And everyone that attempted it, it ended disastrously. So why would we want to reenact things that happened in the Bible that weren't good for us? Like the Bible is technically something that we're supposed to learn from. We're not supposed to repeat the bad things that happened in the Bible. Yet that is in fact what we're doing. So people have not really learned much, but no, it's not ever something that I would personally support because of my faith. I don't work with couples that are in polyamorous situations. I'm very open about that. I just, it's just not something I have any training or expertise in. I refer them out, but I don't believe it will ever be successful. I think God's intention was one man and one woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so whenever the polyamory conversation comes up, I bring up one point, Old Testament or New Testament.
Right.
And that you see the glitch in the individual as soon as you
Yep.
say that. Every time I
Yep.
say it, I said, okay, polyamory. Oh, they did it. Are you talking Old Testament or
Mhm.
New Testament? Because you have to
Exactly.
understand that distinction in time.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if you understand that distinction, that is not the law of the land anymore.
Right.
Or if you want to follow that portion, that
Mhm.
section of the Bible, then you
Mhm.
also need to be slaughtering lambs and making
Yep.
sacrifices at the altar as well.
Yep. There you
Because
go.
that's the time frame, that's the
Yep.
framework. And so, oh no, I don't want to do that. Then you can't pick and
Right.
choose.
Exactly. And I mean, Lot, his daughters had sex with him. He got drunk, and Lot's daughters had like, come on, no. There were a whole lot of things happening in the Old Testament that were brought about because of sin. Once sin entered the world, that's when all this stuff entered the world. And so Jesus came on the scene to make that right. And now you're trying to defile him. You're trying to defile what he did. No, that was never God's original design. That's what we're trying to get back to.
Yes, man. That's what we're fighting for.
Yep.
Yes. I love it. I love it. New kid on the block. High value man, high value woman. Do you
Yeah.
think high value men and women is a helpful framework or a toxic framework?
I think it's a worldly framework. And, I mean, we're living in the world. So it's a very worldly way of classifying people. We know that all people have inherent value. Men and women are different by nature. And I think we need to honor that more. But everyone is, unique or special in their own way. And as you stated, let's say a man brings a lot of value to a woman, but let's say he doesn't even have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
I believe that man can bring a lot of value to that woman. He could be an electrician. He could be an HVAC tech. And he could bring a lot of value to that woman in her life. He could be a well-read man, right? He could be well-read and listen to podcasts and know a lot about a lot. But yet he's not classified as a high-value man. So again, I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot by adding these titles. We're really overlooking people who can add value to our life and in the way that we need them to, right? There are things that I need from a man that most women would say, yeah, I don't want that. I wouldn't want that. But again, I want people to find their person. And I think a lot of people are not doing that because they're so busy trying to fit this mold that social media or podcasters are telling them. Yeah, a lot of people are not finding their people because of that.
So you don't it's a worldly view that you don't
Yeah, I don't
agree with.
subscribe to it. Yeah.
High value. So you wouldn't consider yourself a high value woman because again, you do all these things. You have
Right.
a movement. You're
Yeah.
in motion. But so you're saying everyone has value, not just
Yeah.
men, not just women.
Yeah, I think everyone has inherent value. Now we have to look for it. We have to take the time to look for it. And everyone has their stuff, right? Everyone has their quirks and their oddities and their stuff. So let's not overlook that. Even the so-called high value man, he has his stuff. He has his quirks or his things about him. And so I believe in looking at people comprehensively, but that takes time. That's not going to happen in a 30-second soundbite. That actually takes time to really get to know that person and to see the things about them that could really benefit our life. But when we look at a checklist, right? So if a person went check, 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 yeah, I'm going to accept this person. And then 12 months later, because that's about how long it's going to take for you to really see what this person's about. Now you realize, okay, they check these boxes, but I don't like how this feels. I don't feel heard. I don't feel seen. I don't know. Something is off. Yeah. So we have to take our time. Yes, everyone should have a standard, even men. And I've been talking a lot about this. Men need a standard. Okay. Everyone should have a base standard. But I also want them to be open. Be open to being surprised. There may be something about a person that was not on your list. And they come with that. And you're like, that's a pleasant surprise. I kind of like that.
So do you think dating is a good testing ground to figure out what you like or what you're looking for? Or should you already go in knowing your list?
I think we need to have a base set of standards, right? And then we're open. I have a base set of standards, which is 3 things. I have boiled it down to 3 things that the man must have. And then I am open, right? I am open to whatever else he may come with. But everyone should have a base standard. And I try to get people to boil it down to 3 things. What are the top 3 things or the main 3 things that person must have? And then, be open and just see what else they come with.
What are your top 3 things?
The first one is he must be godly in word and in deed. The second one is he must be healthy and fit. And the third one is he must be kind and empathetic. That's it.
Really? I heard nothing about money. I heard nothing about income. I heard nothing about healthy and fit. That could be that healthy.
Not height. That's not height though. That's just healthy and fit, right? I'd like him to be fit and healthy. Eat right, exercise. Great. I love it.
Absolutely. There you go. So there you go. There you go. Y'all, ladies, you don't have the washboard abs.
See?
No. You gotta be on the list. 6. What was it? He has to be 6'7".
No, doesn't need to be on the list. I've dated men 5'8". I've dated men 6'6". I could care less.
Shorter than
their height isn't going to raise my children. So, right? We have to think about what matters. Their height is not going to get me through cancer. We are focusing on dumb stuff instead of the stuff that really matters. I asked a couple just the other day in couples therapy, would you want this person beside you when you were fighting cancer, when you were throwing up, when you couldn't eat, when you were losing your hair? Is this the person you want to go through that with? That's the real question we need to ask ourselves.
And answer.
Yep.
You need an answer.
Yep.
Ooh. I remember when I used to date, that one of the things people thought I was wrong for is similar to your health and fit. I used to pay attention to genealogy. So I'm not only when I'm meeting your parents and your family and you're inviting me to the cookout, I'm paying attention to the dynamics of the room.
Yeah, and that's smart.
One lady I dated, she's heavy set. Mom's heavy set. The sister's heavy set. Great grandma's heavy set. The sister had 8 kids. 3 of them are living. Mom had both kidneys removed and lost function of both her kidneys and is now on dialysis for the rest of her life.
Yep.
Grandma dropped dead at 50. Nobody knows why. Grandpa had a stroke and suffered from dementia. I pay attention to things like that because this is in you.
Yeah.
And so I used to pay attention to that. People are like, oh, that's shallow. There's very few people that don't have medical issues. What's wrong with you? I need to pay attention to that for my future.
And your children? Yeah, that would be a no-go for me. No. We don't drink sodas in this house. That's the biggest one. We don't drink sodas. I don't eat fast food.
At
Like
all.
I don't eat fast food. I don't eat fast food. A lot of people don't like that about me, but I will take nuts or fruit in the car, even if I'm out and I get hungry, but I wait till I'm home or can eat real food. Like I don't eat fast food. I don't eat processed food. So that's a big deal. Yeah. I'm surprised that they said that because that's a huge deal, especially now. So yeah, we need to pay attention to that.
People, again, people thought I was shallow. I
No.
think that's important because
Mhm.
if I'm signing up for this, I need, just like you said, you're asking me the question. I'm answering the question myself.
Yep.
Am I okay with taking care of this woman for the rest of my life?
See?
I need to answer that question before I marry you.
Right.
And if I can't answer that, if I'm looking at your mom and I said, I would not marry into this,
Yeah.
or I can't see myself with this, then I
Yeah.
need to walk away early.
That's it.
So,
That's it. I feel that way also about addictions, right? So I'm funny about addictions and even mental health. I've gotten that comment that you just said when I have said, yeah, I really don't do the mental illness or, the mental health medications, I've got, and people are like, what? You're a therapist. I'm like,
yeah.
that's a little bit too much to deal with all the time.
So
So
so you won't medication and stable or just medication? Hey, that's an X.
I think it's an X for me.
Okay.
I do. I think if people have chronic depression, chronic anxiety, if they have other mental health conditions, personality disorders, I think that's a no-go. And maybe it's because I'm in the field, but yeah, that's a little bit much for me.
You see it live. You see it live.
Yeah, yeah.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Miss Anita Stoudmire on the Gentleman
Yep.
Style Podcast show. Spilling the tea. One more round of applause for this incredible woman. Miss Stoudmire, is the dating pool shrinking or are people's standards rising beyond what's realistic?
The dating pool isn't shrinking. I mean, there are plenty of single people. I think the latest statistics were saying we're at an unprecedented level of single men and women. So it's definitely not shrinking. I think the pandemic did a job on all of us and it kind of broke people. I've been talking about this. Like, I think the pandemic broke people. It broke people's brains or it broke their socialization. Something broke inside of people. And, we're still kind of recovering from that. And then we're living in this technological age. And I think that's kind of hurting our brain. This dopamine addicted dating app, social media, immediate gratification. I think our thousands of year old brain cannot keep up. Like we're dopamine saturated, right? Never in the history of man have we been able to reach for this easy dopamine. Like you would have to excuse me, you'd have to go for a walk in nature, you'd have to build something, right? You'd have to like create something to get a dopamine rush. And now it's on your phone, it's in dating apps or social media. You're not doing anything for it. Video games, pornography, like you're just getting hit with all this dopamine over and over and over. And I think it's frying our brains. So, yes, people's expectations, again, this stuff has kind of ruined that. And then I made a video about this recently about, everyone is not your option. That's a lie that society is telling you that everybody in your phone and people on the other side of the world, you have all these endless options. Everyone is not your option.
Mm.
And people believe that, oh, if this doesn't work out, I'll go back on the app or I'll meet someone else. I'll meet someone in London. I'll meet someone in LA and that person's my option. They're not. They're not. Tied to Shiro's book, and this is a great book I'm going to encourage everyone to read. It's called The Science of Happily Ever After. It's by Tai Tashiro. And the author goes into scientific study. There's tons of data in that book about love and relationships and marriage. And he says, which I agree with, he says, most of us will meet, date, mate, and marry with someone within 60 miles of where we live. Like that's our option. But we're told that, oh, we could have anybody, and they could live anywhere. And that's not true. That's not true for most of us.
But Rihanna was dating a prince in Dubai,
Right.
and this influencer had a relationship with Shaquille O'Neal,
Yeah.
and this person over here, social media has connected us in expansive ways, and
Yep.
I can find love across international waters, can't I?
No. I mean, those people are in the what 0.1%. No. Yeah, that's not realistic. And I mean, I make good money and I don't have money laying around to fly to Dubai. Like, no, that's just not realistic. I'm not going to fly to meet a man in New York every other weekend. That's not going to happen.
So is social media helping at all in the dating stratosphere, or is it?
I think
Or
it's hurting. I think it's
hurting,
hurting. Yeah.
completely hurting.
Yeah, I do.
What advice do you give couples to reconnect if they're in an existing marriage, or if you're coaching someone to find love? What advice, what tips do you give for them to connect with that person within their 60 miles?
Yeah, I want them to set up a boundary around social media. I have that boundary. So I always tell people I walk the talk. So on my phone, all of my social media apps only give me 1 hour a day. I get 1 hour a day to be on any of the social media apps. I don't have TikTok. I think I have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, but I get 1 hour a day. And when the hour is up, it's over. And
But
then
your business is on social media.
it doesn't matter. Anything I need to do it in that 1 hour. So I do jump on. I'll jump on. I'll try to check and then I'll jump off. The second thing I don't have is notifications. I don't have notifications on any of my apps. Absolutely. So I think we need to wean ourselves off of the phone, wean ourselves off of the apps. We need to spend more quality time with one another. We need to, like, in person, connect with one another. We need to touch one another. I strongly, strongly encourage couples to touch one another. You would be shocked to know how many married people don't touch each other outside of the bedroom. That's a problem. That's a huge problem because we need to release oxytocin. We need to release serotonin and these good hormones that bond us to that person. And most people, they're not touching each other outside of the bedroom. That's a problem. But I also want them to develop hobbies, develop interests on their own and with their person, and do those things together. Get out and do activities together and have fun together and laugh together. Introduce your inner child to their inner child and go out into the world and have fun together. I noticed that a lot of people, once they grow up, this whole grow up, right? It's like their inner child dies. My inner child, my inner girl is alive and well. People meet her all the time. And it's why, my life is so amazing. My life is so contented because I've kept my inner child alive. I love to laugh. I love nature. And so I'm just noticing, like, people living in this digital world like all the time. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy for real connections.
What about, are you operating what you definitely hear? Are you operating in your masculinity and you need a man to take you out of your masculinity so you can operate in your femininity and your inner child?
I'm the girl all the time. I am the girl all the time. Now, we have both energies. Remember this dance that we're all doing. So masculine and feminine energy resides in every person, male or female. I do have to activate that energy to get things done. I have to activate it when I'm working. I have to activate it when I'm meeting with people and I'm talking about my money, right? So when I'm doing, I am activating that energy. But everything has a time and a place. And when I'm not in that framework, I return to being the girl. I return to my feminine self. And that means that I am a being and not a doing. I like to create. I have a lot of feminine hobbies. I am big on self-care. I'm big on just, relaxing and receiving. All of those things are feminine. But again, men have feminine energy too. And I tell them, when a woman is giving you a massage, you are the receiver and she is the giver, right? A lot of men love to cook and they love to paint and create music. All of those things are in the feminine realm. So we have both of those energies inside of us. I believe that the goal should be to integrate those energies in a healthy way. That's what I have done. I am what's called an integrated woman. So I'm able to balance, like, okay, I need to step into this masculine side of myself, and then I'm going to step out. When I'm with my man, I am predominantly in that feminine energy because that he's in that masculine energy. Like that's his space. We can't both be in that space at one time. So he's in that space. I am the girl. And then, but if ever he needed me, if he said, Anita, I need you to give me directions to this place. See, I can now go into that energy. I can find it. I can give it to him. Or Anita, I've had 2 drinks. I don't trust myself driving. I can be the driver.
You drive what?
But we should know how to do that. We should know how to integrate both of those energies. Because think about it. If I was in my feminine all the time, nothing would get done. None of my business would get done. So that's why I tell people, like, it's not a hard and fast, oh, I'm in my feminine 100% of the time. I wouldn't have raised my children. I wouldn't have taken care of my household. I wouldn't have gotten anything done. You do have to go over to that other side. That other side is the doer side. And the feminine side is the be side, right? I'm just being and not doing, but we need both of those sides. And that's what we don't talk enough about, is how to integrate those parts. But in a romantic relationship, yes, I choose the feminine role. That's the type of relationship I want to have, a polarized relationship with a man. I want him to be the masculine. I want to be the feminine. Absolutely. That's ideal for me. And that is what keeps relationships full of spark, is the polarity.
Keep it interesting, keep it spicy. I like that. I like the integrated woman better than an independent woman.
Yes, I am integrated, right?
Because it gives a sense of interdependency. Like, hey,
that's right.
I can blend in with you.
That's right.
Because to me, that's a brick wall. If you come off the gate on a first date and say, I'm an independent woman, you've automatically put up a wall. I'm an integrated woman.
I tell women that. Stop saying strong and independent. I don't need stop saying that. You're shooting yourself in the foot.
You get exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You get exactly what you want. So soft life. I can't segue without segueing to that. Mm-hmm. Is the soft life movement improving women's well-being or creating unrealistic expectations? Because I feel like the two are connected.
Yeah, it's a pendulum swing, right? It's pendulum swinging from strong and independent all the way over to soft life. I live here. So I don't live here and I don't live here. I live right here. And that's what I encourage women to do. And guess what? It's not necessarily a man that's providing that. So every time I get my toes done, every time I walk in nature, every time I go out to my garden, every time I feed the squirrels, every time I take my dog to the dog park, I am in that feminine energy. I'm nurturing something. I'm nurturing my plants and my pets and all the things, right? But they're making it seem like, I need a man to be masculine in order for me to experience this. No, that's something you can do for yourself all on your own, right? And I'm always telling women, don't pick a man that would make your life harder. I would think that's common sense. Like, don't pick a man that makes your life harder. I would never do that, right? I should receive a benefit of being with him, just like he should receive a benefit of being with me. So yeah, it's a pendulum swing. It's going from one extreme all the way over to the other. And that's a problem. We should be landing somewhere in the middle.
I gotta give you a clap for that. There's some applause for that. I need, if we could rewind the clip. Do you think men actually want feminine women, or compliant women?
I think masculine men want feminine women. Healthy masculine men do want feminine women. And that is the gold standard. Men who are strong and stoic, men who are emotionally healthy and available, men who understand the dynamic and the nature of a woman and doesn't demonize her for it. Yeah, I think healthy masculine men do want feminine women. And it's not about never being challenged. It's not about, oh, she's never going to tell me anything. No, she's going to speak up. She's going to tell me how she feels. She's going to tell me, when I've hurt her feelings or something's happened. A healthy man can handle that, right? He wants to grow. He wants to expand his self and his knowledge. There are a lot of unhealthy men out here. There are a lot of men who have picked up traits that they believe are masculine. So for instance, men, if you are having a lot of casual sex with women, there was a time in our history where that was seen as masculine. That, get as many notches on your belt and as many, knock as many women down as you can. We really believe that was a part of masculinity. But now we're starting to recognize, like, is it this ability to have a bunch of women sexually? Is that really true, healthy masculinity? Remember, Jesus is the ultimate alpha. He was a virgin.
True. That's so true. So true. This is so good, Miss Stoudmire. We are at my favorite segment tonight that I've been looking at. Well, I enjoy this. I'm enjoying this whole thing.
Yeah.
But we are at a section that I have now developed for you, which is our fire round, our red flag, green flag questions, Q&A,
right.
fire, lightning round. So I need some fire round.
Okay.
Let's see, some music here. Let me see what I got.
Nope.
Sorry, it's like some rock star. So this is our fire round. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, we have 15 red flag, green flag questions for Miss Anita Stoudmire. And so, Miss Stoudmire, rattle it off, give it to us.
Okay.
Here's the first question: red flag or green flag? Do you think? Oh, red flag, green flag. They still live with their ex for financial reasons. Red flag.
Red flag. Yep. Red flag.
That's a red flag? Really?
That's a red flag.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd rather you live with a family member, right? A family member, a friend, but your ex, that's a red flag.
Red flag. Okay. Red flag, y'all. That's a red flag. Walk away. Leave them alone. They insist on splitting everything 50-50, even on the first date.
That's a red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah, we can't have a truly polarized relationship. Remember, romantic relationships are not equal. They are equitable. So we can't have a truly polarized relationship if it is equal. Okay? And transactional. I always tell women, I let men do whatever they want for me. And 9 times out of 10, they do a lot, because I don't have any requirements. I don't have any financial requirements. I want them to do whatever they feel they should do. That's it. But because I'm like that, most men are very generous. And so, we want to have a healthy polarized relationship. And in order to do that, we can't have this roommate equality situation. And I know a lot of people, they do split their bills 50-50. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a wrong thing. However, I'm sure there are days where your spouse does something for you, something kind, or he gives you something, and that's that. And he doesn't expect anything back in return. He's just giving that to you out of the love of his heart.
Absolutely. Red flag. Okay. I love that. Thank you. Next fire question. What I have here. They post you on their story, but never on their grid or timeline. Red flag, green flag.
I would say it's a green flag. I mean, you're getting posted. And I mean, I'm not a big social media person, so because I don't it's funny. I have a platform and I don't have any personal social media. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I don't have any personal social media, but I do have a platform. But I guess that's a green flag for folks who want to be, a part of their partner's social media. That's a green flag.
Okay. Okay. Green flag, y'all. So that's a green flag. So you're in the clear if you as long as you post her in the story and not in the in your feed or your timeline, you're good.
Mhm.
Check them out. They followed 987 Instagram models and
Oh,
big booty
no.
Judy, but swear they're not into all of that.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Red flag.
Yep. Yep. No, if you are lusting with your eyes, you're lusting. So it's going to be hard for you to appreciate your woman.
So
by
only
lusting. Yeah,
should only be looking at your woman.
pretty much. I mean, you're going to see other women out in the world, but yeah, to be lusting over women online, yeah.
Absolutely. They delete their dating apps, but keep their profiles just in case. You're in the dating.
That's an interesting one. Now, if you're not exclusive and committed, I mean, they can do whatever they want. If you're exclusive and committed, I would hope that they would delete their profile. Yeah, if you're exclusive and committed, I would hope that they would delete the app and their profile. So that might be a red flag. Yeah, because I would want them, if we've decided to be in an exclusive relationship, let's delete our profile and delete our apps.
Okay. Okay. Delete it, fella. So where you are in the stage, get clarity, because some of us don't get clarity.
Yeah.
Get clarity on where you
Yeah,
are.
where
What
are
are we
you?
doing?
Yep.
What are we doing? Okay. They want I think I know the answer. This is not fair.
Okay.
They want a healthy relationship, but they refuse therapy because I'm good.
You know what? That may not be a red flag.
What?
No, and let me tell you why. We live in this modern day culture where everything is therapized. And there are a lot of people that, they may not have had a direct experience with therapy and they might be good, right? We live in this therapized culture that says everybody should go to therapy. And yet, I believe there are people that, for the most part, even if they've had things happen in their life, they're resilient, they have adapted, or they have processed their emotions or their feelings. Maybe that's a unique way of looking at that, but I don't believe that everybody needs to be in therapy for like months and years. I think it that's a case by case. It really depends, right? It really depends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a case by case.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. They communicate only through memes and TikToks instead of real conversations.
If they're over 25, that's a red flag. If you're younger than that, I might let it slide. But if you're over 25, yeah, you're an adult.
You need to talk.
Yeah.
We need to have real conversations, not just sending memes, funny memes.
Yeah.
I like memes. I think
me too.
They especially if you're trying to strike up
Yeah.
a thought to like, hey, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last question. They want marriage but can't explain why beyond it's just time.
Yeah, no, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag. But they want marriage though.
No. It's just like a man, wanting to be in an exclusive and committed relationship with me. I want him to tell me what it is he likes about me. And if he cannot do that in great detail, it's a red flag.
Okay.
He needs to be able to know, what does he like about me? What is it about me other than the way I look or how I make him feel? Like, what else? What is my character? Right? What are the qualities about me that makes him admire me or be attracted to me? And I feel the same way about marriage. Like, marriage needs a purpose. And that's what a lot of people, if I'm being honest, they don't. That's one thing I make all of my premarital couples do. I send them home with an assignment and I tell them that together they must determine the purpose of their marriage, and they must write a mission statement.
It's a business. She means business.
Yep.
When it comes
That's a part
to
of it. Right. That's a part of it. The love part is easy, but guess what? The butterflies, the spark and all of that, it's going to die down. So we have to have something real to attach to. We have to have a purpose or a goal or a mission, right? And so even on those tough days when I'm not really feeling you and you don't like me, look, we need to come back together for the mission. Like that's what we're going to tell each other. Like we have a mission, we have a purpose, and we need to get it together for that. And then you do it. But a lot of people, they marry for feelings and emotions. And like I said, that's wonderful, but that can't be the only thing because marriage is going to get hard.
It is. But that's what makes it worth it, I feel.
Oh, for sure.
I think hard things in life, the hardest things in life
are worth it. I agree.
You appreciate them more.
Yep.
Incredible, y'all. If you were a red flag on any of those, you got some work to do. Miss Anita, Miss Stoudmire, you've been incredible. You've been amazing this episode. I thank you for being here. I want to say it to you. If you had any final words, you shared so many nuggets today. If you had any final tips, nuggets, advice for our audience today, what would you say to that young boy, that young girl who gave up on love and trying to find their way back?
I just want you to, number one, keep hope alive. In the infamous words of Jesse Jackson, who just passed away, keep hope alive, right? And I want you to believe that even if, now we're going to get radically real, even if you never find your person, because that's a possibility, right? I'm never going to lie to people and say, oh, your person's out there and it's just a matter of time. That you may not find your person. But the number one person I want you to grow to love and respect and revere is yourself. I want you to have a measure of, self-worth and self-love. I want you to enjoy this amazing life that God gifted you. That's even if you don't find your romantic partner. I do believe our lives have meaning and have purpose, whether we're partnered or not. But my hope is that your person is out there, and my hope is that you find them. So it's really a mindset. It really is a mindset. People don't understand that enough. That be happy, create a life that you love, and that person, you and them may cross paths and you find your way to each other. But even if that doesn't happen, your life has meaning and it has purpose. So live a really well-lived life.
Absolutely. How can people find you? How can people connect with you? The train has left the station, but It's not too late to get on board. How can people connect with you?
So my platform is Better Love Movement everywhere. So on Facebook, on Instagram, my YouTube channel is Better Love Movement. My website is Better Love Movement. I do offer coaching. I've written 3 books. My latest book is the 21 Feminine Principles. You can find that through the link, my pillar link. But yes, basically Better Love Movement everywhere you go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I want to say this to you publicly, Miss Stoudmire. Don't give up. We need you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have my days. People see those videos. They're like, uh-oh, Anita's getting tired. But I take a nap, I pray about it, and then I keep making videos.
We appreciate you. Never quit.
Thank
we
you.
need what you're doing.
Yeah.
Please. All right, y'all. We got to let this incredible woman go. She has many more lives to change, many more TikToks to create, and many more lives to improve and change the world for the better. I hope this message was inspirational. I hope this conversation was directional. And I hope this helps you ignite the passion in your marriage. And if you're out there, gave up on love, not desiring love, I hope you feel renewed today and go out and make a difference. And remember, you are worth it.
Yeah.
You have value. So like we end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always, take care of business. This is Marcus, your favorite gentleman, and the incredible, super agilistic espialidocious Miss Anita Stoudmire signing off. Love you guys. Bye.